Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Waukon High School and Northeast Iowa Conference Baseball on AM 1240 KDEC and at KDECradio.net. It is a Northeast Iowa Conference doubleheader tonight as the Waukon Indians, with a record of 6-13 overall, 2-8 in conference play host to the Decorah Vikings, a record of 13-6 overall, and the Vikings are 8-4 in conference play. These two teams got together on June the 11th over in Decorah, and Decorah won a hard-fought game that night by a 5-3 margin, and they'll look to take the season series for this year here in 2013. These two teams will be in the same sub-state coming up here in a couple of weeks. Here is the Decorah lineup. Leading off, the second baseman, Colin Nimrod. Batting second at shortstop is Jake Qualley. Hitting third at third base is Dustin Carey. Batting fourth, the pitcher, Josie Jewell. Hitting fifth, the right fielder, James Osley. Hitting sixth, the catcher, Kyle Kane. Batting seventh in left field, Austin Ashbacker. Hitting eighth at first base, Bryce Pierce. And batting ninth in center field will be Gavin Nimrod. So it's Nimrod at second, Qualley at short, Carey at third, Jewell the pitcher, Osley in right, Kane the catcher, Ashbacker in left, Pierce at first, and Gavin Nimrod in center field. That lineup will face Jacob Ronan, 0-2 with a 7.67 ERA. Opponents hitting .337 against him, 17 and a third innings, 34 hits, 19 earned runs, 8 walks, and 5 strikeouts for Jacob Ronan on the season. Ronan, the sophomore right-hander, will face the sophomore to start things out in Colin Nimrod. The sun is out for now. There's threatening conditions throughout the area, but we are playing baseball here tonight in Waukon, as Ronan's first offering the game is high and tight as we get things going at 5:32. It is 1 ball, no strikes on Colin Nimrod, who was 0 for 1 but had 2 RBI against the Indians back a couple of weeks ago. As the next pitch taken low, it is 2 balls, no strikes. Colin at .217, no extra base hits and 9 RBIs on the season, but he does have a .321 on-base percentage. 2 balls, no strikes, and the pitch over the outside edge for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Jack Lynch calling the balls and strikes, and Drew Knutson working the base pass in tonight's ball game. 2-1 the count, and Ronan delivers. The pitch outside is 3 balls, 1 strike. Walk on from a defensive perspective. Marshall Lyons in left, Hunter Hamill in center, and Tyler Benzing in right. Parker Hesse at third, Austin Trundle at short. And the pitch, breaking ball outside edge, taken for a strike, and it's 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Colin Nimrod. Matt Simblick at second, and Sully Bucat at first, with Jordan Wolf behind the plate and Ronan on the hill. The pitch low and outside on a breaking ball, and Nimrod walks to start things here in the top of the first inning. So a runner at first and nobody out. No score here top of the first. Jake Qualley had 2 of the 3 hits for Decorah in that 5-3 victory a couple of weeks back against Waukon. He had an RBI in that game, and he bats .262. The stretch and the pitch swung on and fouled at the plate on an over-the-top breaking ball. It is no balls, 1 strike. Hesse playing even with the bag at third. Holding the runner on at first is Sully Bucat. A lead at first by Nimrod, who has not attempted a stolen base yet this year. Runner goes, pitch taken inside, throw down to second base, 1 hops to the bag, and Nimrod in with a head-first slide. Nimrod with his first steal of the season, and now it's a 1-1 count on Jake Qualley. Hesse will now play in a regular position at third base, and back at first is the first baseman Bucat, who fields a ground ball in foul territory. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Again, the sun is out. Temperature in the low to mid 80s as we start things here and walk on for this conference doubleheader tonight. Nimrod leading away from second. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. A look back at second and the pitch. Swung on a ground ball toward short. It's fielded there by Austin Trundle. He'll throw on to first base, and Jake Qualley retired. 1 down here in the first inning. The only thing you don't like about that at bat, it's an unproductive out because you didn't move that runner up. You hit the ball to the right side in that situation. It's better news because that runner would be at third base as Dustin Carey stands in for Decorah and swings and misses that over-the-top curveball. No balls and 1 strike the count. Carey at .378, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, and 11 RBI. Oh, 0-1 delivery, swung on, driven towards left field, retreating as Marshall Lyons. It is over his head. It's a couple of hops and a roll to the fence. Carey will have himself an RBI double, and the Vikes draw first blood. Carey with his 5th double of the season and RBI number 12 as he scores Nimrod from second base, and Decorah on top by a 1-0 margin, and Josie Jewell will look to help his own cause. Josie at .407, 7 doubles, no triples, 2 home runs, and 15 RBI. Ronan delivers to Josie, and that one fouled away right side and out of play as Josie was reaching for the curveball that time. It is no balls, 1 strike on Josie Jewell. Jewell was 0 for 2 against Waukon pitching back on the 10th of June. Sim Black paying attention to the runner Carey at second base. The stretch by Ronan, a look back at second and the pitch, a breaking ball for a strike, and it's no balls, 2 strikes on Josie Jewell as he took the hanging curve. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Ronan with the 0-2, tried the fastball and missed outside. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Josie Jewell in the pitcher against pitcher matchup. And Decorah won the first meeting 5-3, but you can argue that it was more what Waukon didn't do than what Decorah did do, as that one hammered down the left field line, but well fouled. It left the yard, but it was well fouled directly down the left field line, as Josie didn't take a hanging curve that time. Unfortunately for Decorah, he just didn't get it between the chalk. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count, and the 1-2 delivery swung on and missed. Josie tried to wait back on the curveball, but waited too long. So a runner at second and 2 down here in the first inning of a 1-0 Decorah lead. And James Osley, who's up to 200 on the season with 4 doubles, no triples, no home runs, and 11 RBI, will stand in. 1-0 Decorah. Osley takes the first one outside from Ronan. 1 ball, no strikes. Vikes trying to start another winning streak because their 4-game streak was snapped Friday night in the 3-1 loss to Owine. The stretch by Ronan and the 1-0 is outside for 2 balls and no strikes to count. Just not enough offense in that game for Decorah. And running into a few of the guys, they just weren't happy with their approach at the plate, and has that one fouled towards the third base walk-on dugout, and it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Waukon in the third base dugout this year under first-year coach Jerry Keenan. Opponents now in the first base dugout. 2-1 delivery, that one well high as a breaking ball slipped out of the hands of Ronan. And Osley will sit in a hitter's paradise at 3 balls and 1 strike. The stretch, a look back at second and the 3-1 is outside for ball 4. Ronan walks his second of the inning. With first base open, in essence, it doesn't hurt you too much. It will if Kyle Kane can come up with a clutch hit. 1-0 Decorah, 2 on, 2 out here in the first. Kane was 1 for 3 with 2 RBI against Indian pitching back on the 10th of June. He's hitting .241 on the season with 5 doubles, no triples, no home runs, and 7 RBIs. And the first pitch goes outside. It is 1 ball, no strikes. Ronan, to this point, having a tough time finding the strike zone. He's not overly wild based on these statistics coming in. The stretch and the 1-0, that one taken outside. 2 balls, no strikes. He had only walked 8 in 17 1/3 innings. But he's walked 2 in the first 2/3 of an inning here today. A 1-0 lead for Decorah on the Dustin Carey RBI double to score Colin Nimrod. 2-0 delivery, that one up for 3 balls and no strikes now to Kyle Kane. With Austin Ashbacker hoping for a turn on deck. Osley away from second, or correction, Carey away from second. Osley off of first. And the pitch taken high by Kyle Kane as he takes 4 straight out of the zone. So Carey up to third. To second will go Osley, and down to first will go Kyle Kane. And Austin Ashbacker will bat for Decorah. Jake Hovden will get Kane's courtesy at first base. Ashbacker, 236, 2 doubles, 1 triple, no home runs, 12 RBI. He was 0 for 3 against walk-on pitching. As Ronan will move to the windup in the bases loaded 2 down situation, and the pitch is taken up. It is 1 ball, no strikes. That's 7 straight out of the zone from Ronan. He's walked 3 this inning. 1 has come back to haunt him. A curveball taken low. And it's 2 balls and no strikes now. The Indian sophomore right-hander struggling, but he's 1 pitch from getting out of this frame with only 1 run given up as the pitch taken on the outside edge for a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike as Ashbacker had the take sign there. 2-1 the count, and the pitch. Curveball missing outside. It is 3 balls and 1 strike now. Ronan kicks and deals. The 3-1 offering swung on, rolled toward short, picked up there by Trundle, and an underhand toss to second and Simblek, and that will retire the side. So out of all that, the Vikes get 1 run, 1 hit, and leave the bases loaded. We head to the bottom half of the first inning. It is Decorah 1 and Waukon coming to bat, and the Indians will bat this way. Leading off will be the shortstop, Austin Trundle. Batting second, the designated hitter, Adam Benzing. Benzing will bat for the first baseman, Marshall Lyons. Hitting third at third base, Parker Hesse. Batting fourth, the catcher, Jordan Wolf. Hitting fifth, the pitcher, Jacob Ronan. Hitting sixth at first base, Sully Bouquet. Hitting seventh in center field, Hunter Hamill. Hitting eighth at second base is Matt Simblick. And batting ninth in right field will be Tyler Benzing. So it's Trundle at short, Benzing the DH for Lyons, the left fielder. Hesse at third, Wolf the catcher. Ronan the pitcher, Bouquet at first, Hamill in center, Simblick at second, and Benzing in right. That lineup will face Josie Jewell, 6-3 on the season with the .285 ERA. Opponents hitting .152 against him. 51 2/3 innings, 35 hits, 21 walks, 21 earned runs, 34 walks, and 59 strikeouts. He got the win as a starter against Waukon on June the 10th. 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Jake Qualley ended up pitching the final inning of that game, as Austin Trundle, who was 1 for 3 with an RBI, swings at the first one, fouls it right side. Kyle Kane will take a peek, and that one is going to land in the stands as Dak Sweska couldn't quite make the play there. No balls, 1 strike, the count on Trundle, who's hitting .345 on the season with 4 doubles, no triples, no home runs, and 10 RBI. Dustin Carey in on the grass at third. Josie delivers, and the pitch taken high. It is 1 ball, 1 strike. Defensively for the Vikes, Austin Ashbacker in left, Gavin Nimrod in center, James Osley in right. 1-1 from Josie, high and tight on the fastball. It's 2-1. At third base is Dustin Carey. At shortstop, Jake Qualley. At second base, Colin Nimrod. And at first base, Bryce Pierce. 2-1 delivery, hammered towards left center field, and that one is going to be a gapper. Trundle will hit first. He will stand at second with a double. His 5th double of the season to start things here in the bottom of the first inning. So Trundle at second, nobody out. And Adam Benzing will bat for the Indians, 1-0 Decorah, bottom of the first. Benzing was 2 for 4 against Viking pitching. He's hitting .386 on the season, 3 doubles, no triples, no home runs, and 11 RBI. Kyle Kane behind the plate and Josie Jewell on the hill as Benzing looks at a fastball up from Josie. It is 1 ball, no strikes. Josie comes set. A look back at second in the 1-0 offering, swung on, popped up straight back and foul. And out of play, it is 1 ball and 1 strike. Going back to that 5-3 win on the 10th of June, Indians committing 8 errors in that ball game. Trundle, the man at second base, was the losing pitcher, and he did not give up an earned run in that game as Josie uncorks a wild pitch all the way back to the screen. Kyle didn't have a prayer to stop that one. That one was thrown. If this was a left-hand hitter at the plate, that would have been behind the left-hand hitter. So Trundle moving up to third on the wild pitch with the tying run. It's 2-1 on Benzing. Pierce will play up at first, and Carey will play up at third as that one smacked towards second over the head of Nimrod and into right field for a base hit. And that'll score Trundle, and we are tied at 1. Adam Benzing with an RBI single to even up the game. That's RBI number 12 on the season. And Coach Dennis Olenzak out of the dugout to talk to his infield and battery right away. At times this year, Josie has struggled with control. You really haven't seen the first 2 batters of a game attack Josie the way he has been attacked tonight. Perhaps outside of Friday night's ball game. He got off to a poor start, giving up a run right away to Owine. After he gave up that run or 2 early, he was pretty solid the rest of the night. But here's 2 straight starts in a row where Josie has struggled in the first inning. 1-1 game, runner at first and nobody out. And Parker Hesse to the plate for the Indians. And the runner bluffs going and the pitch missing inside to Parker Hesse. 1 ball, no strikes. Hesse was 1 for 4 with an RBI against the Vikings on June the 10th. He's hitting .388, 4 doubles, no triples, no home runs, 9 RBIs. Fly ball center field. Coming in is Gavin Nimrod. He will make the catch. He winds up. He throws to first base. Not in time. Nimrod seemed fooled a little bit by that ball as he went back initially, had to come charging in, ended up making a relatively routine catch. Benzing was the runner at first base. He was kind of playing it halfway. Nimrod caught that ball with all of his momentum going forward, threw behind the runner at first base, but wasn't in time as Jordan Wolf will look at a strike, 0-1. 1 on, 1 out, 1 in. 1-1 game, bottom of the first. Wolf at .276, 5 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, and 17 RBIs. Fastball outside edge, and it's 0-2. Wolf was 1 for 4 with an RBI against the Vikings as well. The stretch, the 0-2 delivery, tried to backdoor him with the breaking ball, and it's taken outside. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jordan Wolf. Vikes got their RBI on the Destin Carey double in the first inning. A Benzing single has tied the game for Waukon as the pitch swung on and missed, took a little something off, and Wolf out in front for the second out of the inning. Josie gets his first strikeout. 2 down, runner at first, and Jacob Ronan will try to help his own cause for the Indians. We're tied at 1 here in the bottom of the first inning. Ronan 1 for 4 against Viking pitching as the pitch swung on and missed by Ronan. No balls and 1 strike. Ronan, .281 on the season with 4 doubles, no triples, no home runs, and 7 RBI. Josie with the next one, a beauty of a curveball taken on the inside edge for a strike, and it's 0-2. So ever since that visit to the mound, we're seeing some competitive juices flowing out of Josie that we all know he has. 0-2 delivery, fastball high and tight, runner goes, throw down to second base, not in time. The throw was one-hopped to the bag, and nobody was covering initially. Kyle behind the plate kind of double clutched and perhaps didn't have as accurate of throw because of that. A steal by Benzing is his 13th of the year. It's now 1-2, and the pitch swung on a slow roller, fielded at third by Dustin Carey. He'll wind up and throw across the diamond, and on a bang-bang play, Ronan retired 5-3, and that'll be that for the first inning. But 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We head to the second. We're tied at 1. 1-1 game as we go to the top of the second inning. Sky is starting to cloud up a little bit here in Waukon. Most forecasters saying a pretty good chance of rain tonight, but hopefully we can get 14 innings of baseball before that happens. And if that good chance reduces to a small chance, don't think anybody in our part of the world will complain about that. Bryce Pierce will start things here in the top of the second inning, hitting 154 with a double, no triples, no home runs, and 2 RBI. Pierce did not play in the first meeting between these two teams, as Ronan was wild in that first inning, but got out of it with only 1 run given up as the pitch goes low to Pierce. 1 ball, no strikes. You talked about the rain. I was in downtown Waukon when Governor Branstad was here today. A lot of damage in the downtown area as Pierce looks at a strike, 1-1 the count. A lot of downtown businesses suffering some heavy damage. You wouldn't expect that with a river nowhere near this community. The 1-1 delivery, the pitch taken outside, is 2 balls, 1 strike. But the downtown sits in kind of a low-lying area, and when you get that much rain that fast, hard to keep up. Definitely hard for the storm sewers, too, as the pitch goes outside. It's 3 balls, 1 strike, but as you would expect in this community, people are just rolling up their sleeves, getting to work, cleaning up, and a lot of these folks will be back because that's what you do in small-town rural Iowa. 3-1 delivery to Pierce, outside corner taken for a strike, and it's now 3 balls and 2 strikes on Bryce Pierce. Gavin Nimrod, then Colin Nimrod to follow here in the top of the second inning of a 1-1 game. The 3-2 delivery, breaking ball taken outside for ball 4. So that's the 4th walk for Ronan. Again, he is not a wild pitcher statistically because he only walked 8 and 17 1/3 coming in. As Gavin Nimrod will bat, he was 0 for 4 against Indian pitching the first time. And on the grass at third is Hesse. Bucat will hold the runner on at first. The first pitch is taken for a strike at the knees by Gavin Nimrod. No balls, 1 strike. Gavin at 226 with 5 doubles, 1 triple, 1 home run, and 11 RBI. Ronan has been forced to work a lot here in this first inning plus as Gavin squares to bunt, pushes it up the third base side. Ronan will field and throw to first base with Bucat covering. The sacrifice is complete. 1-3 in the scorebook to move Pierce up to second base, and now the top of the order, and Colin Nimrod will bat. Decorah 1 walk on 1. Second inning, Colin walked, stole the base, and scored in that first inning. Stretch by Ronan. A look back at second, and the pitch swung on, blooper out into right center field. Underneath it is Hamill. He will make the catch. Pierce was tagging, but couldn't move up because of the shallowness of the fly ball. There's 2 down here in the inning. Runner at second. And 2 down for Jake Qualley, who looks at the first one out of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch, swinging a foul back. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Stretch, a look back at second, and the 1-1 delivery rolled toward the right side, picked up there by Simblock, throws on to first base to retire Qualley, and that's that for the second inning. A walk and a man left. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It is 1-1, Decorah and Waukon. 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the second inning. On a warm, now overcast night here in Waukon, first game of a conference doubleheader. As the Indians will bat with Sully Bouquet, starting things here in the second inning. Bouquet looks the first one outside. 1 ball, no strikes. He did not play in the first meeting between these two teams. Josie ready in the pitch, swung on and missed. It is 1 ball, 1 strike. Bouquet at 205 with no extra base hits and 1 RBI. 1-1 delivery, swing, and a foul off the mask of the catcher, Kyle Kane. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch, swing, and a foul, third base side. So we'll do it again at 1 ball, 2 strikes as Josie went with the breaking ball and Bouquet got a piece of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Jewell delivers, pitch swung on, foul towards third. Slight bobble there from Coach Keenan in the third base box. But he was able to knock it down. Jewell ready in the 1-2 offering again. Swing and a miss. A foul tip into the glove of the catcher, Kyle Kane. There's 1 down here in the 4th inning, or in the 2nd inning. 4 in a row retired by Josie Jewell. So Jewell allowed the first 2 runners on, but a fly out, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out in the next 4 batters. Hunter Hamill will come to the plate. 1-1 game here in the second. Hamill deliver or takes the first pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Hamill 0 for 2 against Decorah pitching. 163 on the season. Pitch swung on and missed. It is 1-1. Curveball outside corner taken for a strike, and it's 1-2. So after the first 2 runners were led on, Coach O went out to the mound, and Josie Jewell has been on his game ever since. 1-2 outside corner for a strike 3 called. Got him with the fastball that time, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Josie. 2 down for Matt Simblick. 1-1 game here in the second. Simblick 0 for 2 against Decorah pitching. The pitch goes high. It's 1 ball, no strikes. 143, no extra base hits, and 4 RBI on the campaign. 1-0 delivery, swung on and missed, just some heat. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Josie working quickly, finding his groove, and the pitch swung on, fouled away, right side out of play. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Josie trying to make quick work of the Indians here in the second. The 1-2 delivery, fastball, just missed the outside edge. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Each team got a run in that first inning. The 2-2 delivery, swing and a foul back. So we'll do it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Another busy week coming up for the Vikings. 2-2. Inside corner, and just off the corner, I guess. It is 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Josie all the way out on Matt Simblick. The 3-2 delivery, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Josie able to strike out the side. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the top of the 3rd. It's a 1-1 game between Decorah and Waukon. Top of the 3rd inning we go. It's a 1-1 game between Decorah and Waukon. This is Vikings Radio 1240 KDEC, Decorah, and KDECradio.net. Darren Swenson with you from Olensack Field, or from Waukon tonight. Vikings won the game over at Olensack Field in Decorah between these two teams on the 10th of June. Dustin Carey, the man responsible for bringing home the lone run for Decorah to this point. We'll look at the first one outside. 1 ball, no strikes. He had an RBI double to score Colin Nimrod in that first inning, as the pitch taken outside is 2 balls and no strikes on Carey. Jewell and Osley to follow here in the third inning. 2-0 delivery. Outside for 3 balls and no strikes. Taking all the way and taking a strike is Carey. Ronan's had his control problems, but he, for the most part, has been able to work around them. Has only given up the 1 run to this point. It's a 1-1 game here in the third. Curveball outside, ball 4. Ronan has walked the leadoff man in the first 3 innings. Vikes made him pay for it in that first inning. Pierce got a leadoff walk in the second, but couldn't advance beyond second base. Runner at first, nobody out, and Josie Jewell to the plate. 1-1 game here in the third. Jewell struck out swinging in the first. Quick move to first base, back to the bag. Diving is Carey, who has yet to steal a base this year. He hasn't even attempted one. Josie struck out swinging in the first inning, 0 for 1. The stretch and the pitch. A little high, popping out of the glove of Wolf, but it lands in front of him, so no threat to move up for Carey. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The strikeout was something Decorah did a lot of on Friday night after doing very little in the last 4 games. Curveball outside corner taken for strike 1 is 1 ball and 1 strike. Decorah struck out 8 times against Owine on Friday night. They only had struck out once in the last 4 games. Stretch and a move to first base. Carey was leaning a bit, but dove back to the bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. Carey away from first. Stretch and the 1-1 delivery is outside for 2 balls and 1 strike. Series of signs in the third base box from Coach O. Ronan looks over towards first. Now comes set, and the 2-1 swung on, smacked into left, and a base hit. So the Vikes get their first 2 runners on here in the third inning. Carey via a walk. Jewell via a base hit. Sweska will get Jewell's courtesy at first base. Cole will be at first. Carey will be at second. Osley will be at the plate. He walked in the first. Would seem like a bunting situation here, and Hesse playing behind the bag at third. Stretch, no sign of bunting, and a smack foul past Coach O in the third base box off the bat of Osley. No balls, 1 strike. Osley still looking for his first hit against Indian pitching this year. Vikes only had 3 in that 5-3 win back on the 10th of June. The only hit that Ronan has given up, or now the only 2 hits, are the Carey double in the first and the Josie single a moment ago. And the first pitch is outside, or the next one is outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Osley. Might have been the case that the strategy there, if you get first ball fastball, you attack it, but then you try to bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch taken outside. No sign of bunting that time from Osley. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Sometimes if you get first ball fastball, you might as well attack it and play for the big inning. 2 balls and 1 strike. New series of signs from Coach O. Now Osley squares to bunt when Ronan's in the set position. It's a curveball. It's taken high, and it's 3 balls, 1 strike now on James Osley. Bucat is playing in front of the bag, but yet still on the dirt at first base. Playing back at third is Hesse. Ronan comes set. 3-1 offering low for ball 4. So Ronan has already walked 6, and Jerry Keenan will head out to the hill and talk to Ronan. The infield and battery will be all a part of this conversation. The base is loaded and nobody out, and Kyle Kane coming to the plate. Kane drew a walk back in that first inning as well. Vikes have had a ton of base runners to this point, despite having only the 2 hits. They've had 8 base runners, but only 1 has crossed home plate. The infield is going to come up at all 4 positions, and Ronan will work out of the stretch. The pitch to Kyle swung on, smack deep down the left field line, but foul. No balls and 1 strike. Kyle got a hanging breaking ball about belt high and attacked it, but got around a touch too early. No balls, 1 strike to count. Carey off a third, Sweska off a second, and Osley off a first. The stretch and the 0-1, a curveball taken at the belt outside corner for a strike, and it's 0-2. Now there was a curveball high in the zone that, of course, it's easy for us to say up here. Could have attacked that as much as you attacked the last one, as the next one goes outside to Kane. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One, 2. Curveball outside. Two balls, 2 strikes on Kane. Ronan comes set, 2-2 swung on, fly ball, left center field, retreating to the bag, or to the ball is Lyons, tagging at third, coming to the plate is Dustin Carey. He will score. Sacrifice fly by Kyle Kane, and a 2-1 lead for Decorah. So Kane knocks in his 8th run of the year on the sacrifice fly towards left. Carey started to move down the line on contact before Coach O got him back to the bag. Lyons made the catch angling towards left center and couldn't get a lot on a throw, and it was deep enough that it was going to score a run, as Austin Ashbacker will look at the first one high from Ronan. 1 ball, no strikes. Austin reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Sweska away from second and Osley away from first. And the pitch to Ashbacker taken outside is 2 balls, no strikes. Stretch will look back at second, and the 2-0 is up for ball 3. Ronan really struggling to find the zone tonight. But he has made the key pitches when it counted. He has only given up the 2 to this point. 3-0 delivery. Ashbacker takes on the outside edge for a strike. It's 3-1 on Baby Bull. Three balls, 1 strike. Stretch will look back at second and the 3-1. A little number up the third base side that angles into foul ground and picked up there by Hesse. So a foul called by the home plate umpire Jack Lynch, and it's 3-2. So Ronan has gone deep into a lot of counts. In fact, it's already the 4th time in 16 at-bats that a Vike hitter has gone to a full count, as the next one sails high on an off-speed breaking ball, and that is 7 walks for Jacob Ronan. He's almost matched his season total to this point, so needless to say, this is uncharacteristic for the kid. Bases loaded, 1 down, 2-1 Decorah here in the third. Bryce Pierce drew a walk in the second. So Ronan working out of the windup here with one out. And the pitch to Bryce well high. It is 1 ball, no strikes. I did not notice if any Indian players were warming up in the bottom of the second inning. Not exactly sure who Coach Keenan would go to if this keeps up with Ronan. Infield up the corners, back up the middle. The 1-0 delivery is a pitch out, and nothing was doing. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Perhaps Coach Keenan expecting a squeeze play on that last 1-0 count. 2-0 delivery, high for 3 balls, no strikes. (3-0), and the pitch in there for a strike to Bryce Pierce. It's 3-1. Runners lead from their respective bases. 3 balls, 1 strike, and the pitch. Outside corner for a strike, and it's 3-2. The 5th full count in 17 batters for Ronan in the 3-2. Swinging a foul off the end of the bat and rolling back to the screen. So the count stays put at 3-2 on Bryce Pierce. We're in the third inning of a 2-1 Decorah lead. A carry RBI double in the first and a sacrifice fly by Kyle Keene here in the third. 3-2, take 2, outside ball 4. Pierce draws his second walk. This one will give him an RBI the easy way, his third of the year. And it's a 3-1 lead for Decorah. And Coach Keenan heading out to the hill. And we'll see if this isn't going to be it for Jake Ronan. It looks like Hunter Hamill will be coming into this game. I think him and Ronan will just switch positions, pitcher to center field. We'll tell you about the changes here in a moment. Bases loaded, 1 down, third inning of a 3-1 lead for Decorah. Hunter Hamill will come into the game to replace Ronan, who in 2+ innings had to throw 77 pitches. 2 1/3, only 2 hits, 3 runs to this point. All have been earned, but all the runners are his responsibility. 8 walks and 1 strikeout for Jacob Ronan. He will move to center field, and Hunter Hamill will move from center field to the hill. Hamill, the junior right-hander, this is his first relief appearance of the year. He's made 3 starts. He's 1-1 with a 10.11 ERA. Opponents only hitting .154 against him. 9 innings, 8 hits, 13 earned runs, 14 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So Ronan faces 17th, and the 18th batter of the game will be Gavin Nimrod, who sacrificed a runner-up in the second. Runner at third is Osley. Runner at second, Ashbacker. And the runner at first is Pierce. Curveball that gets crossed up between pitcher and catcher. It's a wild pitch. Osley will score standing, and it's a 4-1 lead. Wolf, the catcher, stood as if that ball was going to go outside. It ended up going inside. So pitcher and catcher getting crossed up. Ends up scoring the 4th run for Decorah on a wild pitch. His pitch taken high. It is 2 balls, no strikes now on Gavin Nimrod. So now second and third with 1 down. And Hamill working out of the windup. The pitch hits him. Looked like it got him in the cheek, if you will. With first base open, Nimrod will move to the vacant spot. Bases loaded, one down again as Colin Nimrod will now bat for the third time in as many frames, and the pitch is in there for a strike on the outside edge, 0-1. Nimrod walked in the first inning and flied to center in the second. A 4-1 lead. All of the runs have been charged to Ronan to this point. 0-1 delivery well outside. It is 1 ball, 1 strike, and when the opposing pitchers are having as much trouble finding the zone as they are, sometimes that has a way of taking away the aggressiveness that you need at the plate as well. 1-1 taken at the letters for a strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Colin Nimrod. Sometimes you can get that pitch in the hitter's part of the zone and you're not ready for it. When the pitching's all over the yard, the pitch goes high. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And unfortunately for Waukon, that's been the case to this point. Ashbacker third, Pierce second, and Nimrod first. Out of the windup is Hamill. 2-2 delivery, swung on a ground ball towards short. And Trundle will go to second for 1. Return throw to first, not in time. Fielder's choice, 6-4. Nimrod will get an RBI. His 10th of the season is now a 5-1 lead for Decorah as Ashbacker scores, and Pierce moves to third on the play. Gabe and Nimrod erased on the 6-4 fielder's choice, and Jake Qualley will become the 9th man to bat in the inning. Qualley, the only man not to reach base yet for Decorah. He's grounded out twice as the pitch swung on, rolled towards second base, picked up there by Simblock. He'll throw on to first base to retire Qualley, and that's that for the third inning. 4-run score on only 1 hit, and the Vikings leave 2. We head to the bottom of the third inning. It's a 5-1 lead for Decorah. Bottom of the third we go after a long top of the third. It's a 5-1 lead for Decorah. They got 4 runs on only 1 hit in that inning. Indian pitchers have walked 8 and hit 1 to this point as Josie Jewell hits Tyler Benzing to start things here in the third. It was a fastball in on the hands, and Benzing got hit right around the elbow area. And Benzing will reach to start things here in the third. Austin Trundle doubled to left and scored his first time up. 5-1 Decorah here in the bottom of the third. Stretch and the pitch swung on, smack towards second base. Caught there by Colin Nimrod. He'll throw to first base, and it's a double play. It was a looper that Nimrod moved to his right and made a running grab. And he slightly tossed it over to first base for a double play. Frankly, I don't know what Tyler Benzing was thinking there. Ball wasn't hit very hard, and Colin made the catch, and Benzing well off the bag. A lot more than he should have been in that situation as Benzing looks at the first one high, 1 ball, no strikes. Benzing an RBI single to right in the first. Next pitch outside from Josie is 2 balls and no strikes. Pitch swung on and a 1-hopper leaping grab made by Josie. He'll run towards first and give Bryce Pierce an underhand toss. And for the second consecutive inning, the Indians go down in order. Josie takes care of that inning with only 5 pitches. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the fourth. It is a 5-1 lead for Decorah. Top of the fourth inning we go. 5-1 Decorah with the lead. Vikings with only 2 hits to this point. Indians with 1. It's been an errorless game as Dustin Carey, who has 1 of the 2 hits, will come to the plate to start things here in the fourth. Carey an RBI double in that first inning, and he walked and scored to start the third. 1 of 8 walks given up by Indian pitching. His first pitch goes high, 1 ball, no strikes. Hunter Hamill is on for Jacob Ronan, who threw 2 1/3, 2 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 8 walks, and 1 strikeout. 1-0 delivery is outside for 2 balls, no strikes on Dustin Carey. Had a bit of entertainment between innings. Andy Sires, longtime baseball coach here, was the head coach, has been an assistant now for a long time. 2-0, curveball for a strike. It's 2 balls, 1 strike. Was walking back to the dugout, steps on a baseball, and he might have to change his pants between games. Pitch goes outside, 3 balls, 1 strike. But I will give him a lot of credit. He did stick the landing. The French judge gave him a 5.2. The American gave him a 6-0 as the pitch inside for ball 4. Another walk given up by Indian pitching. Carey with a leadoff walk here in the 4th inning. All 4 innings have started with bases on balls. Josie Jewell will start things, or will bat, I should say, with a runner at first, nobody out. Josie, a healthy cut, no contact. Swinging and missing. It is no balls and 1 strike. Josie struck out swinging in the first, single to left and scored in the 3rd. Carey and Josie with the only hits to this point. Runner goes, pitch taken inside, throw down to second base. A good throw, and Carey is going to be retired. Carey did not get that good of a jump, but I will give Jordan Wolf a heck of a lot of credit. That throw was right on the money, and Simblak there to take the toss. It's 1 ball, 1 strike with now the bases empty. 1-1 the count. The pitch swung on, popped up right side. And in foul ground is the catcher Jordan Wolf, and Wolf will make the catch in the Decorah on-deck circle for the 2nd out of the inning. Two down, nobody on, and James Osley to the plate. And the first pitch goes high. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Osley walked in the first and walked and scored in the 3rd. 1-0. Outside and low and all the way back to the screen. It's 2 balls and no strikes. .2-0 from Hamill. Well high for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes as Osley a pitch away from getting his 3rd free pass of the night. 3 balls, no strikes, and the 3-0. Osley will take a strike, and it's 3-1. Hamill trying to face the minimum here in the 4th inning. The 3-0 taken high for ball 4. 3rd free pass given up by, or given to Osley, and the 10th free pass given up by Waukon pitching. That's just not being kind enough to yourselves to play winning baseball. Runner at first, 2 down, and Kyle Kane at the plate. A move to first base will send Osley back diving to the bag. Kane walked in the 1st inning and had a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. At the time, that made it 2-1. Vikes would get 3 more in the frame. As the pitch out of the zone, 1 ball, no strikes. Osley a lead at first. Stretch and the 1-0. And there's a strike to Kyle Kane as 1 ball, 1 strike. You're almost to the point with the control problems that the Indian pitchers have had. Even if that strike 1 is in the hitter's part of the zone, you might want to force them to throw a strike, because you've gotten a lot of free bases because of it. As that one smacked into center field, Jake Ronan with a late break. He will dive and make the catch in shallow to medium depth center field, and that's that for the 4th inning. 2 walks, 1 left. We are halfway home in Game 1 of this conference doubleheader. It is Decorah leading by a 5-1 margin. Bottom of the 4th we go. It's a 5-1 lead for Decorah. In case you're just joining us, Vikes got a run in the 1st inning on a Dustin Carey RBI double to score Colin Nimrod. Adam Benzing an RBI single scored Austin Trundle in the bottom of the 1st inning. And the Vikes took advantage of lack of control from Indian pitching in that third inning, scoring 4 with the benefit of only 1 base hit. Parker Hesse looks at a strike, 0-1. Hesse flew out to center in the first. As pitch taken up, it is 1 ball, 1 strike. In that third inning, Kyle Kane had a sacrifice fly. Pierce got a bases-loaded walk. A wild pitch scored the third run, and Colin Nimrod had an RBI fielder's choice. A curveball is inside for 2 balls and 1 strike to count. 5-1 the score. Decorah on top. We play the bottom of the fourth as the fastball goes up. It is 3 balls, 1 strike. Josie has yet to walk anybody, but he hasn't given up a hit since the first 2 batters. Reminds you a little bit of the outing he had Friday night. The 3-1 delivery is up high for ball 4. So Hesse with a leadoff walk here in the 4th inning, and Jordan Wolf will bat. He struck out swinging in the first, 0-for-1. Mike's lost that one 2-1 on Friday night. One thing that has been pretty constant, though, with this Decorah team at 13-6, they're not giving up a lot of runs, even in their losses. This pitch goes outside to Jordan Wolf, who struck out swinging in the first, 0-for-1. 5-1 Decorah here in the 4th. Stretched by Josie. The 1-0 offering is in there for a strike at the letters. It's 1-1. You look at the losses, you did give up 9 in a loss to Maquoketa, but 2 to Cascade, 3 to New Hampton, 3 to Owine, 2 to Owine, and 6 to Waverly Shellrock. Pitch swung on and missed. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jordan Wolf. Now, this team has struggled offensively, at least from a consistency standpoint. Fastball swung on and missed. Jordan Wolf down on strikes. 1 down here in the 4th inning. 1 on, 1 out, and Jacob Ronan to the plate. He grounded to third end, the first, 0-for-1. 5-1 Decorah here in the 4th. Hesse with the lead at first base. Josie with a long pause. The pitch swung on and missed. No balls, 1 strike. But if you're only giving up that many runs in losses, you gotta feel, as you approach midseason, now we're a little bit beyond the pitch, curveball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. That the bats will eventually turn around, because sometimes the hitting is the last thing to catch up. If you've got the pitching and you got the defense, you're normally going to be in good shape. Curveball swung on, fouled back to the screen. It is 1 ball, 2 strikes. So, you look at the last few losses that you have had. Only the last 6 losses, you've only given up 21 runs. The pitch swung on, fouled, right side, and out of play. So we'll do it again at 1-2 to Jacob Ronan. So a 2-1 loss, as frustrating as it is. The pitch, curveball in there for a strike, and Jacob Ronan down on strikes. That's the 2nd out of the inning. Josie now with 6 strikeouts. And he'll start Sully Bukait with a strike as well. Bukait struck out swinging the second, 0-for-1. A lead at first for Hesse. Jewell comes set, and the pitch swung on and missed. It is no balls, 2 strikes on Sully Bukait. Josie trying to pitch around a leadoff walk. Hesse goes, pitch swung on and missed. It won't matter. So for the 2nd time tonight, Josie strikes out the side. He's got 7 strikeouts. A walk and a man left. We head to the 5th. It is a 5-1 lead for Decorah. 5th inning we go. It's a 5-1 lead for Decorah. 5 runs, only 2 hits for Decorah. 1 run on 2 hits for Waukon. Both teams have played earless ball. The lack of control from Indian pitching has been the story. They have given Decorah hitters 10 walks, and they have hit 1 Decorah hitter as well. By comparison, Josie has only walked 1 and hit 1. Austin Ashbacker will start things here in the 5th inning. 1 in the first, 4 in the 3rd for Decorah, so the odd-numbered innings have been good for Decorah. as Ashbacker looks the first one inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Waukon got their solo tally in the bottom of the first inning. Vikes trying to win number 14 on the season as pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Busy week for Decorah. They'll head down to North Fayette for a single varsity game tomorrow afternoon as pitch an inside pitch is fouled off by Ashbacker. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It'll be a 3:50 start time. You can hear it on AM 1240 KDEC. Thursday night, they will be home to West Delaware. 1-2. Pitch taken low. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Then Friday night, you travel down to Waverly Shellrock for the conference leaders as the Vikings and Go-Hawks will get together. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. And the pitch well outside for 3-2 now on Ashbacker. Weather looking a little better over the next few days, so hopefully we can get everything in. 3-2 delivery swung on, smacked into right field, and that will land in front of Tyler Benzing for a base hit. So the Baby Bull gets the 3rd hit of the night for Decorah. And Ashbacker will be lifted for a pinch runner, and Cole Sweska will pinch run for him. And Bryce Pierce, who has drawn 2 free passes, will stand in. He walked in the second, walked in the third. That walk in the third was with the bases loaded. Jack Lynch back ready to go after making note of the change. And Pierce into the batter's box. Pierce squares to bunt, pushes up the first base side. Hamill with the bare hand pickup, throws to first base and throws it up the right field line. Moving to third on the throw is Sweska. It'll be first and third with 1 down. So a sacrifice and an E1 as Pierce will reach. Sweska will make it to third, and Gavin Nimrod will come to the plate for Decorah. You can knock the Indian pitcher for a bad fielding play, but credit Pierce for a job well done on the bunt as Gavin Nimrod looks at the first one inside. He had to skip the rope to get out of the way of that one. 1 ball, no strikes. Nimrod without an official at bat yet. He sacrificed a runner up in the second and was hit by a pitch in the third. He was the first batter Hamill faced after relieving Jacob Ronan. 1-0 delivery pitch hits him square in the back. So Gavin Nimrod has been a baseball magnet tonight, getting hit for the second time. Sweska third. Pierce second. Nimrod first. And Colin Nimrod at the plate for Decorah. Infield up at the corners, back up the middle. Colin officially 0 for 2. We'll look at the first one inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Colin walked and scored in the first, fly to center in the second, and got an RBI on a fielder's choice in the third. That put him into double digits on RBIs of the season. The pitch blown outside. It is 2 balls and no strikes. 5-1 Decorah, and the Vikes looking for a big inning. Hamill working out of the windup, and the pitch low and outside is 3 balls, no strikes. Of course, with Colin at the plate, you always got to think suicide squeeze, but a little more difficult to do with the bases loaded and having a force out at the plate. 3-0. And you'd imagine Colin will be taken here, and he takes it high for ball 4. So a bases loaded walk to Nimrod. It'll be his second RBI of the night, his 11th of the season. Sweska will score. Pierce to third. Nimrod to second. Wolf to the hill to talk to Hamill. And Coach Olenczak will talk to Jake Qualley. And the runner at third, Bryce Pierce. Conversations are done. Hitter back in the box. Wolf back behind the plate. Bases loaded. One in and nobody out here in the fifth inning. A 6-1 lead for Decorah. Quali's the only man that hasn't reached base yet for Decorah. The pitch, outside corner for a strike, 0-1. He grounded to short in the first, grounded to second in the second, grounded to second again in the third. Infield up at the corners, back up the middle. 0-1 delivery, swung out a ground ball towards third, picked up there by Hesse. Actually, it goes through his legs and into shallow left field. Pierce will score, Gavin Nimrod will score. 2 runs will score on the error, and it's now an 8-1 lead for Decorah. So Quali puts it in play. Indians not able to make the play. As Pierce and Nimrod both score, Colin Nimrod moves up to second. It's now an 8-1 game, and Coach Jerry Keenan out of the third base dugout. And it looks like another pitching change is imminent. Vikes only with 3 hits on the night, but 11 walks, 2 hit batters, and now 2 errors for walk-on. So that's 15 base runners that have reached without the benefit of getting a base hit. So Indians just not being kind enough to themselves. We'll tell you about the changes here in a moment. Bases loaded, first and second rather, 3 in. Nobody out here in the fifth inning of an 8-1 lead for Decorah. Hunter Hamill will move from the mound back to center field. Jordan Wolf will move from catcher to pitcher. Now behind the plate will be Landon Severson. It looks like Ronan is out of the game. Landon Severson is now catching. As Hamill done, he throws 1 2/3. Only gives up 1 hit. 3 runs, and none of them are earned. The 2 runners on base are still his responsibility. Unfortunately for walk-on, the control not much better there. 3 walks, 1 hit batter, and 0 strikeouts as the candles are now lit as the lights go on here at the Waukon baseball diamond. So Wolf will try to have a better fate than the first 2 pitchers of the night. Wolf, the senior, only making his 2nd appearance of the year. He's thrown 1/3 of an inning, given up a hit, and hit a man. This is only the 4th batter he's faced all year. As the pitch goes high to Carey, 1 ball, no strikes, first and second. Nobody out here in the 5th inning of an 8-1 lead for Decorah. Carey at RBI double in the first, walked and scored in the third, walked again in the 4th. The runner at second is Colin Nimrod. The runner at first is Jake Qualley. In the pitch outside to Dustin Carey. It's 2 balls and no strikes. (2-0) in there for a strike. It's 2-1. Stretch, and the 2-1 delivery, swinging a foul back to the screen. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wolf, the 3rd pitcher of the night, for walk-on. Decorah leading at 8-1. They've done so with only 3 hits, helped out by 2 errors. And the pitch outside. 11 walks and 2 hit batsmen. And yet another full count to a Decorah hitter. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners go. 3-2 taken up. Ball 4. It goes by the catcher, Severson. And it won't be enough to advance Colin a couple of bases. But a walk from Jordan Wolf, the 12th given to Decorah batters, and probably not the most comfortable situation for Jordan Wolf. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Josie Jewell at the plate. Josie is 1 for 3 on the night. He struck out swinging in the first, singled and scored in the third, fouled to the catcher in the fourth. 8-1 Decorah here in the fifth. And the pitch well outside from Wolf. 1 ball, no strikes. Infield back up the middle and up at the corners. One-0. Taken for a strike. It's 1-1. As Josie had the take sign there. Wolf working out of the stretch in this situation. Vikes have already scored 3 this frame. His pitch well outside is 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one, swing and a miss. That was a good curveball that Josie was over the top of, and it is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two from Wolf, swung on a ground ball toward short. Trundle's going to pick it up, go to second, and it's dropped there by Cymbaluk. 1 run is in. Qualley will score from third. It's now a 10-1 ball game. That's the third error of the inning for Waukon as Josie reaches on the error. We'll give that one to Cymbaluk as it was a pretty easy toss from Trundle, but Cymbaluk couldn't corral it. A 5 spot here in the fifth. It's a 10-1 lead for Decorah. And James Osley will come to the plate. First and second, still nobody out. Pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Osley has drawn 3 free passes. 1 in the first, 1 in the third, in which he scored, and another in the fourth inning. Away from second, Carey. Away from first, Sweska, the courtesy runner for Josie. And the pitch well outside again is 2 balls, no strikes. Carey away from second again, and Sweska away from first. Wolf delivers. Pitch swung on, grounded into left field, and a base hit. Stopping at third is Carey. Bases loaded, nobody out. As Osley gets his first base hit of the night, the 4th one for Decorah. And Kyle Kane will bat with the bases loaded, so the Vikings are going to bat around. And there's still nobody out here in the 5th inning. Kyle Kane is 0 for 1 officially. Look at the first pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Kane walked in the first, sacrifice fly in the third, fly to center in the fourth. 0 for 1. Stretch by Wolf and the pitch. That one at the letters for a strike. It's 1-1. Still nobody out here in the 5th. Pitch got the corner on a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. The first run of the inning scored on a bases loaded walk. 2 more runs scored on an error, and 2 more runs scored on another error. 1-2 on Kyle Kane. Wolf delivers, and the pitch swung on, popped up right side foul territory. Sully Bokait in the first base coaching box will make the catch for the first out of the 5th inning. And the guy who started this fun earlier this frame was Austin Ashbacker. Ashbacker will re-enter the game because Sweska ran for him earlier. Sweska scored earlier this frame. Ashbacker reached on a fielder's choice in the first, walked and scored in the second, and singled, and Sweska scored for him as a pinch runner earlier this frame as Austin with a healthy cut and no contact. No balls, 1 strike. 10-1 the score. Decorah on top. A 5 spot here in the 5th after 4 in the 3rd and 1 in the 1st. Indians got their lone run in that 1st inning. Indian pitching has given up 12 hits, and now they hit their 3rd man as Austin Ashbacker will get an RBI the hard way or the easy way, depending on your perspective. Kind of got him in the side, so maybe it's easy. Who knows? Austin will pick up his 13th RBI as Carey will score. Jewell Sweska to 3rd and Osley down to 2nd. It's now a 6 spot here in the 5th, an 11-1 lead for Decorah. And Bryce Pierce, without an official at bat yet, will come to the plate. He walked in the 2nd, walked with the bases loaded in the 3rd, sacrificed but reached on an error and scored earlier this frame. Wolf delivers and the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Brady Dolly has grabbed a bat. He would bat for Gavin Nimrod next. 1-0 delivery. Sidearm toss from Wolf goes outside. It is 2 balls, no strikes. Curveball hops away from the catcher. Severson trying to come down the line from 3rd is Brayton Meyer, the pinch runner, and Meyer is going to be called out at the plate as Severson got to that ball quickly. Tossed it to Wolf, who applied the tags. Meyer was the courtesy runner for Jewell, and he is thrown out at the plate for the 2nd out here in the inning. Osley moved up to 3rd, and Ashbacker down to 2nd. It's an 11-1 lead for Decorah, and it's 2-1 on Bryce Pierce now. Wolf delivers, and the pitch rolled towards 2nd base, picked up there by Simblock. He'll throw on to 1st base to retire the side. Vikes able to score 6 on only 2 hits, helped out by 3 walk-on errors, and the Vikes leave 2. Vikes will try to close it out next. They lead it by an 11-1 margin. Bottom of the 5th we go. Bottom 3rd of the order, 4 walk-on as Hunter Hamill looks at the first one high. 1 ball, no strikes. Josie Jewell through 4 has given up 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He's walked 1, he's hit 1, and he's struck out 7. Swinging a foul back. It is 1 ball and 1 strike. Hamill was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. 1-1 delivery. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Vikes have been the recipient of 12 walks, 3 hit by pitch, and 3 errors tonight for a walk-on. As pitch in there for a strike, it's 2-2. Pitch taken low is 3 balls, 2 strikes. That's Simblek and Tyler Benzing to follow. Indians need a run to keep this thing going. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count. Josie ready in the 3-2. Swung on, blooped out in the right center field. It'll land for a base hit. So Hamill gets his 3rd hit, or the Indians' 3rd hit of the night, and that was the first one given up since the first 2 batters of the game by Josie. And Matt Simblick will bat. He will, or did strike out swinging in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1 as the first pitch swing and a foul back off the mask of Kyle Kane behind the plate. No balls and 1 strike count. By the way, it's back again this year. The A&J Petersburg Insurance runs a promotion. Every time the Viking baseball or softball team leads in the 6th inning beyond, the pitch swung on and missed. It is no balls, 2 strikes on Simblick. Josie ready, and the 0-2. Swung on a roller right back to Josie. He's going to go to Collin at 2nd base for the first out, and a throw to first base is not in time. The throw was a little bit on the outfield side of the bag, and Bryce Pierce kind of had to go catcher on the bit to avoid an overthrow. It ends up being a fielder's choice 1-4, and there's one down here in the inning. And the number 9 batter in the lineup, Tyler Benzing, will come to the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the third. 11-1 Decorah here in the fifth. Benzing swings and misses. He has no balls, 1 strike. By the way, every time the Viking baseball or softball team leads in the 6th inning or beyond and scores another run, it's an A&J Petersburg insurance run. Every time that happens, $20 to the Decorah Viking Athletic Booster Club. From A&J. Pitch swung on and missed. It is no balls and 2 strikes. Speaking of the softball team, they got rained out tonight at Kilmer. And that game will be made up on July the 3rd. Stretch and the 0-2. Swung on, popped up, foul ball. Third base side. Carey will take a peek, but it'll land over near the football stadium. And it is no balls, 2 strikes. Josie about ready to throw his 70th pitch of the game. The ball's 2 strikes, and the pitch swung on and missed at a curveball. And Josie gets his 8th strikeout. And that's the 2nd out of the inning, and Austin Trundle will bat. 2 down, runner at first, 11-1 Decorah here in the 5th. Trundle double to left and scored in the first, lined out to second, lining into a double play in the third. Curveball taken low. Nice stop by Kane behind the plate. It's 1 ball, no strikes. This is Vikings Radio, 1240 KDEC Decorah and KDECRadio.net. Darren Swenson from Waukon tonight. Vikings lead game 1 of this doubleheader, 11-1. Swinging a foul back to the screen. It is 1 ball, 1 strike on Austin Trundle. Vikes and Indians each got a run in the first inning, but the Vikes with 4 in the third and 5 in the 5th. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch swung on, fouled at the plate. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vikes have been the recipient of 12 Indian walks, 3 Indian hit by pitches, and 3 Indian errors tonight. The Vikes have been able to score 11 runs on only 4 hits. 1-2 with 2 down. Jewel ready, 1-2 offering. Outside corner, strike 3 called, and that's a Viking victory. The Vikings make quick work of the Waukon Indians in game 1 of this doubleheader, 11-1 in 5 innings, 11 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Decorah, and they leave 9 runners. The Indians with 1 run on 3 hits. They commit 3 errors and leave 3. Josie Jewell, the winning pitcher, 7-3. Jacob Ronan, the losing pitcher, he drops to 0-3. So Decorah is now 14-6 on the season, 9-4 in conference play. Indians drop to 6-14 on the season, and 2-9 in conference play. We'll have game 2 of the doubleheader coming up here in about 15-20 minutes right here on AM 1240 KDEC and at KDECRadio.net.